you don't receive this one? Any of you? Okay, let me introduce myself. Most of you knows me. Most probably we not see each other. Okay, like Devi means most of you knows who is Devi. Okay, I'm only Devi here. Actually, I did my first law degree in 2006, and that's my second law degree. I just recently completed last year. There's a Malaysian law. I learned about Malaysian law. First one is from University of London, and I'm in UCSI past 11 years. Okay, so totally I have 15 years of experience in legal. My first job is handling consumer complaints. It's under FOMCA. If you know FOMCA, FOMCA is a non-government organization. So my job is just handle consumer complaints. So from there I learned how to handle consumer complaints, what is tribunal, what is consumer law. Not only that, so since we are non-government organization, we need to do empowerment to the normal ordinary citizen, how to, when there is a complaint, how to handle, where to complain. So from there, I have interest in do training. We will go to orang asli kampung to do training, to give awareness, and too many radio talks, TV talks, and newspaper articles. So actually that's my first job. I enjoy it. Then my second job with developer. So I learned sale purchase agreement, tenancy agreement, so many things, all related to properties. Then UCSI is my third job. I stay here, it's 11 years already. Okay. So when I joined UCSI, I just randomly applied to UCSI. My only intention from Puchong, because the developer office is in Puchong, I'm staying in Ampang. So I just gave birth. I have a 12 years old baby. So I just want to find a work nearby to my home. See, when I drive to Puchong, just overnight we have to take a baby, right? Sleepless night. I couldn't drove that far. So what I did, I just randomly applied in 2015. Suddenly one day, I just received call. I applied to job straight. Suddenly one day, I received call from UCSI. That's the first time I'm hearing about UCSI. I don't even know what is UCSI. Okay, so I just came. I met Encik Baka, great Encik Baka. He interviewed me, and then they called us for second interview. During second interview, Miss Minfa and Encik Baka, they interviewed me together. All this happened within a week. Then they offered me. Actually, I'm shocked. They said, really? At that time, HR person is Miss Siva. So I said, hey, really I got the job? They said, yeah. Because from exec, become a manager is a big jump. So then during the first interview, Encik Baka asked me, hey Devi, do you know what is show cause? That's the first time I hear show cause. Nobody, I never heard that word before. He said, no. He said, never mind, I will guide you, I will teach you. So that's how my journey started here. And after I joined here, I learned about HR issues. Not only HR issues, so many, because we are UCSI, group holding companies of various companies. So over these 11 years, I've learned many things with everyone's help, especially Chibaka. At this time I need to thank him. I'm sure he'll be around here to bless me. If not him, I'm not here today. Okay, that's about me. So before we start today's training, I want to test your knowledge. I have given you 4 sets of papers. One is notes. The second paper is pre-training self-assessment. Pre-training self-assessment. I have written 20 MCQ simple questions. So you can start now. You can just take 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It's very simple, easy questions. You can test your knowledge. I'm not going to give you a mark. Just test your knowledge, then we can start. Before we start today's lesson, and another set of questions is after the first session. It's about the Employment Act 1955 and also the Industrial Relation Act 1967. I'm going to go through section by section, key points. Okay? Then you can do this quiz. Then after lunch, I'm going to go through with you what is misconduct, what is poor performance, what is grievances, because most of us confuse between what is poor performance, what is misconduct. They just mix and match. We don't understand. Then you can answer this sheet. So now you can start the pre-assessment test knowledge. No ChatGPT, no Google. Honestly, answer. Because I'm seeing some of you scrolling your phone. Please do it honestly. If you don't understand any word, then you can search for the meaning. It's just test your knowledge. You are not going to share your answer with anyone, and I'm also not going to mark. Real exam is after the presentation about the Employment Act and Industrial Act. That's a real exam. Okay. The first question, what is misconduct? I just take 5 minutes quickly and go through. What is misconduct in the workplace? Okay? B. Right? What does poor performance mean? A. Sorry, huh? So, everyone answer same? Yes. Which of the following is a reason why employees might raise a grievance? Grievance means you are not happy. Grievance is not the poor performance. It's not category under poor performance, not category under misconduct. For example, your boss like to give you a lot of tasks. But another colleague, same level as you, just 1 file one day. You 10 files one day. That's a grievance. Very sad, right? That's meaning of grievance. So which one?
I did not answer that.
Disagreement with the supervisor. Okay. Number 4, which is the best way to handle poor performance initially? Initial, that's a key point. Initial. A. Okay, good. No one answered A yet. Okay. Number 5, if an employee breaks the company rule, what should the manager do first? You like to hear C. Anyone answer D? Any proper. This entire table people will come to you. HR. You answer D, is it? Okay. So, HOD must handle first. Okay. What is the common cause of poor performance? B. Okay, not enough training or support. When handling, number 7, when handling a complaint, what is important? B. Yes. Listen carefully. Who answers C? They are standby. Standby with water gun. Okay? Okay. Number 8, why is clear communication important when managing staff? Yes. Which of the following can improve staff performance? B. What should the manager do when an employee consistently fails to meet targets? Who answers C? Okay, if an employee raises a concern, what is the manager's role? Okay. Who is responsible for setting clear expectation at work?
A and C.
Not A. A will do policy. Okay, work expectation manager. Okay, because your staff, not HR staff. Okay, who is generally responsible for the daily supervision of staff? No, B. Okay, B. Your staff. Okay. Don't remember keyword your staff. Who usually handles the initial step of addressing staff performance? Okay. Head of department. Who provides support and guidance to HOD? This one, yes, support. Employment related matters. This one, HR is support. How? They will what type of leave should usually apply for? Sick leave. Which type of leave typically is given to a female employee who just had a baby? Okay. What is paternity leave usually given for? Okay. What does it mean when an employee is on probation? Okay. Testing trial period. How long is the probation period usually settled? Okay, see. Why B is not answered? B. 1 month. We cannot assess a person talent within a month. 5 years? Too long, huh? Too long. Then they become a permanent. Okay. You don't share your marks with anyone, huh? It's a secret. Because it's about your knowledge. Okay, let's start. Officially start our training today. Alright. So today, training title is Empowering HOD. Navigating misconduct, poor performance and grievance with legal confidence. How you will have a confidence? By learning law. Because every time when we want to do something, not only this, the first thing in our mind is, am I doing the right thing? Yes or no? Right? So, that's why it's important to know about the employment law. So, next, the objective of today's training is to equip you with the knowledge and skill to manage staff if misconduct, poor performance and grievances. 3 of these have different types of way to handle. If a staff with poor performance, you don't need to do DI for them. If a staff with misconduct, you must do DI. So those are the things you will learn today. Whatever I am going to say today is related to Employment Act. It's not from me. Okay? Whatever written in the Employment Act. Okay, now our most favorite quotes. Everyone HR should handle all staff complaints because it's not hired by me. Miss Tini, everything. Miss Tini's blame. It's HR job to deal with performance issues. Sorry, I'm supposed to train you, but if you don't know how to perform, that's not my problem. They hire a wrong person. Okay? Blame shift. I leave it to HR to manage the conflict. Okay? Ask HR to sort that out. HR is responsible for all employee problems. HR must fix the team morale. That's what HR here for. Disciplinary action is HR responsibility. Yes, it is HR responsibility, but before to go to that extent, being a HOD, you need to gather documents for HR to facilitate you. No document, nothing, just push to HR can help you. Okay? Today's main intention is I want to tell what is your responsibility before going to HR. Okay? Then next mindset is only HR can handle. Let HR decide on promotion. Who should decide on promotion? Your staff. Who should decide? You or HR? federal territory. Federal territory consists of peninsula. Okay. So, Employment Act 1955. Today, I will focus on Employment Act 1955 because we are in Peninsular Malaysia. Okay. What consists briefly is about wages, working hours, overtime, annual leave, sick leave, termination, and each other. Industrial Relation Act. This one applicable throughout Malaysia. Industrial Relation Act. If anyone feel they dismiss unfairly, okay, unfair dismissal, then this act will be applicable. So you can complain in the industrial department, not labor department. Labor department here. Industrial department here. You can complain, then the officers will call both employer and employee for conciliation meeting. That's the first step they will do. They will call both parties for meeting. If the meeting not success, then they refer that matter to the industrial court. Okay, so far so good. Next is the primary law. Other labor-related laws. EPF, SOSO, EIS. Okay, when you check your salary slip, you will see these three: EPF deduction, SOSO deduction, EIS deduction, and also anti-sexual harassment. You don't find on your salary slip, only that statutory deduction. Okay, this is the anti-sexual harassment. Is prevent sexual harassment, not only in the workplace, everywhere. Now I will introduce court structure. Okay. See, this is our court structure, hierarchy of the court. Lower court is magistrate court. Next, session court, high court, court of appeal, and federal court. Federal court is the highest court in our country. Okay, if you are not happy with magistrate court judgment, you can appeal to high court. Session court judgment, you are not happy, you can appeal to high court. High court judgment, you are not happy, you can appeal to court of appeal. Appeal, right? You cannot straight away bring a case to court of appeal or federal court. It's not allowable. Depends on your claim amount and also your criminal act. Then the lawyer will know which court to file your case. For example, if your claim is more than 1 million, then you should go to high court. Less than 1 million, session court. Less than 100,000, magistrate court. That's how the lawyers will file your case. Okay, court of appeal, here appeal from high court. Cannot from session court straight to court of appeal, cannot. Okay, this one is additional knowledge. Next is federal court. Okay, hierarchy of Malaysian court. In order for you to file case here, you need a lawyer. You can represent yourself, but we need the processes. Being a lay person, we are not good the processor, right? So we need to in the human resource, Ministry of Human Resource created industrial court to help employee like us. No need to bring our lawyer. You can go by yourself, file your case. See, no lawyer required. For an individual, company must represented by lawyer. Because company got money. People like us, employees, no need to hire a lawyer. If you have money, then you can hire a lawyer. Okay? No payment, nothing. Okay? Superior. You can get your result fast. Depend on your queue. Okay? After COVID, got lot of cases because of retrenchment. Too many cases industrial court. And the decision is binding. Decision is binding. If you are not happy, then you need to appeal to High Court. Then you need to go to High Court. At this point of time, you need to hire a lawyer. If you are not happy with this decision. Here you don't need to hire a lawyer. So far, so good. Okay. Where you can find the industrial court? Where is your company located? In KL. So you only can find your case in KL. Jurisdiction. Say, if you make accident in Ipoh but you are staying in KL, you must lodge a report in Ipoh or KL? Ipoh. If you lodge a report KL, they will take, but still they will send back. Simply, jurisdiction. So you must look for industrial department. Straight away you cannot go to industrial department. Must go to industrial department after the discussion, conciliation meeting. Company and employee cannot come to a conclusion, then the officer will differ. We cannot straight away find. Okay? Next one is outside the civil court structure. Next, labor court. Industrial court only entertain when you are dismissed. Dismissed. No longer in the employment. Either dismissed or constructively you dismiss yourself. I will explain to you what is constructive dismissal. Labor court is under Employment Act 1955. Labor court is not a real court, it's just a labor department. Industrial court is real court structure. You all have seen court in the movie, right? Worldwide, same structure, same setup, same judge, same witness stand, everything is same lawyer. Labor court, no court structure, but we call it as a labor court. Only the officers will try to discuss and try to solve it, and they can give judgment. They can give judgment. So when you can go there, any wages problem or any discrimination in your office, then you can go there. So okay, that is. Now, we have two types of term: contract of service, contract for service. What is the difference? Of and for. Of and for. In your Employment Act, contract of service. Of means employee-employer relationship. For means independent contractor. The consultant agreement is not an employer-employee relationship. Okay? When employer-employee relationship, how to determine when there is a statutory reduction? It's a compulsory. EPF, also EIS, must deduct. Then the relationship is employee-employer. employment, fixed term, probationary employment. I will explain one by one in detail. Part-time contract. Part-time contract also EPF and so AIS will be done. Casual employment. Casual employment, they just come for a temporary. If EPF is also deducted, then they are considered our employee. Okay, so the keyword you need to know of, for, we are of. Okay, contract of service. Now, as everyone know, recently Employment Act 1955 amended, major amendment. Why? It came effective in 2023. Why the amendment was made? Because we want to ensure no trade sanction. Trade sanction means other countries, EU countries, US countries, they don't buy Malaysian product. Why? Maybe they suspect we have forced labor or child labor. So that what Malaysian government did, they made the major massive amendments. That's why we can enjoy flexible working hours, 45 hours per week. Right? Discrimination quickly can go to employment, labor office, paternity leave, future fathers, paternity leave. Okay? So, can enjoy your paternity leave. Previously, we don't have. And previously, only staff earning 2,000 or 2,500. 2,005. Previously, 2,000 or 2,500. Employee. Previously, before the amendment, 2,000, right? Only staff who earning 2,000 rupees are protected under this act. 2005, right? We increased it in 2005. But now, everyone protected. Everyone protected. Last time, before the amendment, only staff who earn 2,000 ringgit below or manual workers are protected. But now, all of us are protected. Last time, we are not protected. Okay? So, to comply with international labor organization, so Malaysia also made these major amendments. Okay? Okay, let's see what is the current employment act. So now we are learning about Employment Act 1955. Okay. Definition about employee you can find in first schedule. I'm going to show you. See, employer. Okay, before that, fundamental question. Employer means, who is employer? Company or staff? Company. Employee? Staff. Okay. See, employer enter with the employee contract of service. Contract of service, you remember? Contract of service, contract for service, contract of service. Now, the scope of application of this new amended act is applies to all employees. It could be lawyer, doctor, chef, pilot, teacher, or cleaner. But some of the benefits only applicable for the staff who is earning 4,000 and below. What are the benefits? it. Construction workers, they can earn 20,000. Still they can entitle for overtime, shift allowance, termination benefit. They are terminated not because of poor performance or not because of misconduct. Okay, if they fall under that category, then they can claim termination benefits. Retrenchment benefit or layoff benefits. Additional pay for when they work on rest day or public holidays. If we work, can we get? We don't get any additional payment. Only employee who earn below 4,000 or manual labor. So those are the benefits. That's the differences. Other than that, everything is same. Section 10. Section 10 of the employment contract under the Employment Act is about any contract, labor contract. Make sure there is a termination clause. Termination clause. How to end our relationship. Okay, so comparison. That's about section 10. Okay. Section 11. Section 11. So two parts. First part is about fixed term contract. Second part is about permanent contract. Fixed term contract means is for 1 year or 2 years. Okay? For specific period, when the period is enough, then your contract period expires. Permanent contract, like us, permanent employee, it's continue until the section 10. If you want to tender 1 month notice or 2 month notice. Okay? You know the difference? 10. Any contract you must state how the termination must occur. Okay? Like notice period. Section 11 is about first part fixed term, second part is permanent contract. Like this, unspecified, then you need to refer below offer letter. Section 12. This is the guideline only. Depend on the company. Company sometimes higher position we must give 6 months notice or 3 months notice. This is just a guideline. So if you work in the same company for less than 2 years, then if you want to resign or the company want to terminate you, then you must give 1 month notice, 2 to 5 years, 6 weeks, 5 and more, 8 weeks if your contract is never specified at time. If your contract specified time, 3 months. Like my contract is 3 months, then I must give 3 months notice. Or if I don't want to give notice, then I need to pay 3 months. Then I need to give notice. Section 30. Okay? Okay, now less than 2 years. For example, you work 1 year in CSI. Previous company 3 years. So in your mind, total 3 years experience, then you fall this category. No. In the same company, you must work 2 to 5 years. All is applicable in the same company, not your year of experience. Okay? Section 30. You can terminate your contract without notice. Either party is applicable to either party. how? The first part, 3 months notice means you pay the 3 months salary. You can discharge yourself from the contract. If the second part, any willful breach, purposely you breach your any of the contract condition, you willfully, voluntarily you breach, then the employer can terminate you without notice. Okay, so the differences. Next, section 14, termination of contract for special reason. Here, your misconduct, your poor performance, all will fall under here. Section 40. For special reason. See, before that, before any decision on termination, must take disciplinary action. Investigation or poor performance means put them under PIP. So all the disciplinary action you must do properly before you dismiss the person. See, after the due inquiry, domestic inquiry, then employer can dismiss without notice, terminate employee immediately, or downgrade the employee demotion from manager to assistant manager. After the due inquiry, domestic inquiry with the proper documentation, panel of domestic inquiry will decide. Next, for the severe serious misconduct can dismiss, otherwise downgrade or lesser punishment, warning letter. Okay, or no bonus. Depends on the panel. So this section 14. So section 14 misconduct, poor performance. So during the inquiry process, section 14 sub 2 allow the employer to suspend you. The maximum suspension period is 2 weeks. During the suspension period, the employer should pay half salary. Half salary. Okay? The 2 weeks, half salary. So after the due inquiry, when the panel find out the person is not guilty, then the half salary must reimburse. Must give back. See, immediately restore. Must give back. If the person is found guilty, then terminate. Is a punishment. Okay. There is another clause, section 14 sub 3. Employee can leave without notice in 2 situations when there is a violence or disease. If they find threat to work in their working environment, immediate danger, or any of the colleague infected HIV positive, he feels dangerous, he can do immediate termination. Is allowable. Violence or disease is under section 14 sub 3. Okay. Section 15. Okay. they will send a notice of demand or they will file a case, then the employee can duly report. If the disagreement, anyway, when we find out that no contract, where we get solution. Okay, this is the last section under termination. Section 15. Section 15, contract is deemed broken when employer not pay your salary, so employee breach of contract when you go for a leave without your employer consent and then didn't inform, right? Didn't attempt to inform your employer where you about for 2 days. Right? Employer also try to check where you about, cannot reach you, then they can, it's deemed your contract is terminated, it's automatically terminated. Okay? So you must make sure you can take leave by informing, but make sure you communicate. We have a recent case, but not in the university, in the school. Police detained a teacher, male teacher. School tried to look for him. Teacher is an important person when it comes to school, right? Because if the person is not there, students will run here and there because they need to take their classes, right? Then the school, no clue where the teacher was for 4 days because he was in the police detention. Then police called the school informed he's under police detention. Then he out from bail. But school decided they're not happy, but we obviously we cannot terminate him due to the police detention because until a person proven guilty by the court, we cannot terminate. If proven guilty under our employment contract, yes, we can terminate. So, but his attitude changed, the teacher attitude changed, he took leave, then based on that, we take necessary steps, due inquiry again, then we terminated him. When he lodged a complaint, all this happened recently, he lodged a complaint to industrial court and the industry department, the officer called us, then we went there, we justified office, so many leaves. Okay, lecturers and teachers cannot take leave, right? It will impact classes. So then we understood. Finally, we managed to settle. He only want the reimbursement money when he came to this, because he just came 2 months and he go out with his neighbor, the police. Neighbor called police and police brought him to the police station. They just put in detention. Okay? So, termination section under Employment Act 1955. Section 10 to Section 15. Any question? Section 10 to Section 15. Or any points you want to write down?
So I just want to give a contrast to what they shared just now regarding the teacher. So and it was justified that he was under remand. Then they found out, all his behaviors and all that. Eventually, he turned on to termination. So that's one example. Another example that from HRB experience would be those who were involved. For example, there's some staff they didn't inform the immediate superior for more than 2 days, and then the immediate superior. After 3-4 days that they didn't appear, they would inform us. That's where the process be, obviously it's a breach of the Employment Act, as mentioned just now in the section 15, right? Section 15. So that would be a breach of contract, it's a fundamental breach. So HR will actually issue a letter saying that there's a breach of contract, and if that person still doesn't respond, then there will be an official letter stating that there's a breach of contract in lieu of the notice. Right? So in accordance to our employment contract, according to the notice period, that would be the amount for compensation. Yeah. So I just want to highlight that for those wondering, the process. Yeah.
So like AWOL. AWOL. What's the absence without official leave? That's the full term. AWOL. HR is the one who is doing that, right? So I will know AWOL. Okay, absence without official leave. The term, after 2 days disappearance, HR will send a letter alerting the staff, hey, if you didn't come back to work, we will end your contract. Still no response. Sometimes the staff will respond to us after they receive AWOL letter. Sometimes don't respond, we just terminate, send breach of contract with new notice. 1 month notice means 1 month salary they need to pay us. If staff didn't pay, what we can do? Okay, staff can go complain about us, right? What we can do? Because, for example, they owe just 2,000, 3,000. Not worth hire a lawyer, someone there. Because someone 5,000. To start with someone 5,000. Legal fees. Legal fees. Because lawyer is very expensive nowadays. Okay? High court easily 20,000. Not high, like our staff usually below 100,000, right? So it starts from magistrate court. What we can do? Sometimes companies feel victimized by the staff, right? Now we can lodge a complaint under section 69 of Employment Act 1955. Then the Labour Office will send a letter. We have the case. In few cases, employees need to come there. Then the officer will check all the documents. If company is right, they will ask them to pay. They will ask them to pay. Perintah, judgment will out. They have to oblige. hey, come on, you didn't inform me first of all, right? Okay? So, must communicate. Also happen, right? Such thing. Okay, you all must communicate. Okay, see, look at your face. Yes. Alright, any question from college? Very quiet, yes.
Yes, I just want to ask, is there a duty from the employer's side within that 2 days to communicate with the absentee?
Yeah.
First day and
Try
second day.
to call. Attend. You must attend. Employer must at least try to, because we don't really be in emergency, you know. We don't know what's the emergency, right? At least try to attend. Try. All these they will.
So if the event, as if the line manager did not contact, if the line manager did not contact, because the line manager did not contact the absentee, would this tantamount and the employee did not follow the manager, can we proceed with the termination or with the breach of contract?
Okay, question is if the employer if the line manager didn't contact, but let's think about it like logically, right? Logically, I mean, law is one thing, but human beings still get alive, right? Like I would say the law gives a structure, but don't you think within the department there has to be like a structure in terms of communication flow? Logically thinking, if your staff didn't appear for a couple days, wouldn't you try to reach out?
Yes, logically thinking, we are just pointing referring just on the law side.
Yeah.
Let's say just, usually we will do that,
Yeah.
but just this.
Purely on law, is it?
On law.
Okay. Purely on law is right, but when you issue termination, suddenly after a week the person is appear, then he felt unfair. When he go to reconciliation, then the officer definitely will ask employer whether you will attempt to contact, because the employee in a difficult situation at the point of time. So the civil court structure, they will go on law basis. When it comes to industrial or labor court, they will go on humanity. They don't go strictly on law. So you all need to know.
And it's a lot based on case law development.
Which I'm going to show also is law. Our end of session, I'll prepare few actual case law for you all to. After this session, you will equip with legal knowledge. All these are easy to understand, right? Because it's our daily life. Then when you read that case law, I prepare activity for you, then you are able to answer, able to understand the actual judgment written by the judge. All the legal terms I'm going to teach you in a while. Okay? So I you don't need any toilet break, water break. Okay, yeah. So we take 5 minutes break.
Ianya vision.
Sini tak ada lah. Oh, Shilkam.
Ada meeting dengan Rizal nak jumpa untuk clearkan.
Ada 30% boleh tu unit.
Kita berbagi 50
Max. How?
credits.
How?
50 credits saya boleh bagi.
Okay.
each month we must receive our salary. Okay, time of payment not later than 7 days. Not later than 7 days. Okay, 7th day of the month. There is another question. Staff under inquiry. Can we hold your salary? Staff under inquiry. Can we hold your salary? Okay. This is under the law. If under inquiry, we can hold the staff's salary just in case the staff is guilty of lost company property. Then how to compensate? We can either ask them to pay or with their consent. They must give consent. We can deduct from the salary. Or after staff resign until they hand over properly the last salary. If they fail to hand over company property, for example, lecturers didn't submit marking paper. Marking paper is fundamental or not fundamental? Fundamental. If missing paper not marked on time, it will cause trouble to company, right? Then that's the only ransom company can do and is allowable. Submit everything and we will release your salary. It's doable, allowable. Okay, we can justify to the labor officer. We can justify to the labor officer. Why I say labor officer, not industrial department? Because wages are under labor office. Industry department, unfair dismissal. So you must know the difference. Only unfair dismissal under industrial department, the rest of it under labor department. Maternity leave. Okay. Maternity leave, there are few important sections you need to know because some of you are HODs, so that you know how to handle your staff. Entitlement of maternity leave is 98 consecutive days. Previously 60. This is the new amendment. Consecutive days means what? You can ask Google brother, ChatGPT sister. Consecutive days means without break. One stretch. After 60 days, you feel very tired sitting at home because pressure doing anything you want. Actually, it's true. Then back to office. End of your maternity leave. Another 38 days, you cannot claim. But before you back to office, must get your employer consent and you must produce medical certificate. You are fit to work. You can come early. Okay? But the remaining of your leave, you cannot claim. Okay, now, first point, you need to know if your staff deliver or you deliver 98 days. Okay. Allowance. Company need to pay your salary during your maternity leave. If you want to return to work Can. The alu can always welcome because always pending work, right? Employer will be very happy, but your employer must agree. And you must produce your mentally fit back to work. Okay? Now, if you already have 5 children, now you are pregnant for your 6th one. Okay? Are you entitled to get for maternity allowance? Now, 6th one, your 5 children are still alive, still alive. All 5 are still alive. It's your 6th child. You are not entitled for maternity allowance, but maternity leave, yes. Ada gaji. Same company or any company. Not necessarily all same company, all 5 kids, no. As long as you have 5 alive kids and you deliver your 6th child, you only entitled for 98 days leave, but not for the allowance. Ada gaji, no salary. Tanggung sendiri. Okay? So, save money before you deliver your 6th child. Okay? Okay? Understand?
First husband, let's say 5 children.
But still,
Zero or
still same mother. Still the same person giving birth, right? But for the paternity leave is applicable. More than 1 marriages, but this one is only up to 5 confinement. Okay, this one okay? So far okay. Now, many people are confused. When maternity leave commence, always under discussion. Your maternity leave, how many days? 98 consecutive days, right? Your maternity leave commence 30 days before the due date. 30 days. Before 30 days, if you want to go for it, that is not a maternity leave, it's an accident. If your employer can deduct your annual leave. If your annual leave, use that non-paid leave. Okay? Or if you choose to work until the day before your delivery, then after you deliver, immediately the 98 days start. Okay? So, if your employer looking at you feels so pity and they can see really cannot, very tired, employer must request you to go for it. 14 days before your due date. Anytime 14 days before your due date. Because some people want to go for earlier than 30 days. Some people want to wait until baby deliver, then only they want to start. This one for the second category. Employee feel, okay, this woman look very dangerous. No, I must ask her to go for early maternity leave. Then they can ask you to go 14 days before your due date. Employer must ask. If you ask, then it become count as an absent. Annual leave deducted. This one, you decided to go for early, not the general rule. 50 days more. 50 days more for your due date, then 20 days, it's considered absent. Okay, consider absent earlier than 30 days. If you stop work too early, all are absent. Okay? Anyone confused here? Anyone confused?
The second one, the 14 days anytime during the before, right? Is it deductible for during the 98 days?
Yeah, start.
98. So it's deductible from the 98
Yes,
days?
yes,
Okay.
yes. 98 days. These 14 days, when your employer asks you to go anytime before the 14 days due date, then your 98 days starts from there. It's not employer giving you free 14 days leave. No such thing. Okay? They will deduct from the 98 days. Okay? Anyone is listening? Okay, all these cover under section 37 is maternity leave and allowance. Section 41A. Termination. How women are protected. Okay? Okay. Now, no termination allowed during pregnancy. Okay? No, strictly no termination. Okay? When you pregnant or you suffer from pregnancy illness, sometimes morning sickness or you cannot come to work, employee need to be very patient. Unless these three happen, can terminate. Willful breach of contract. By now you know willful breach of contract means voluntarily you breach any of the condition under your contract. Any of your misconduct. You did any misconduct or the company closed. Can terminate. Other than that, kenapa nampak sedih? In a 1 minute you thought, how nice you, right? We are blessed. Okay? Okay. Lying is a misconduct. No lah. Termination is really serious misconduct. Warning. Termination is really serious misconduct. Lying depends lah in lying is what's the impact as well? The impact of the company. Okay, you can lie, but eventually truth will surface one day. Then they can follow anytime for inquiry. Show cause letter will come to your desk. So you need to answer. Next, okay, right? Yeah. Section 42. Restriction. Iqbal, Sabah. Yes. Another 90 days of extension. You are protected. If we see another 3 months, we can enjoy. Okay? Just scouting with any doctor. Okay? We can enjoy additional with pay. Okay. Now, restriction on termination. Still cannot terminate. Okay, during the pregnancy time, cannot terminate. If a female employee completed 98 days maternity leave, still they suffer any sickness related to pregnancy. they will come because their employment is under teacher, right? Okay? So far so good? Okay, now, rest day. How many days in a week? How many days in a week? How many days? 7 days in a week. Out of 7 days, 1 day is compulsory. Compulsory rest day. 1 day is a compulsory rest day. Okay? Employer cannot disturb employee to force them to work. So one day is your rest day, but not necessarily is Saturday or Sunday. Depends on the nature of the business. Some people will have different days of rest day. Okay. Now, okay, before I go on, just see, I'm going to explain to you 60 sub 1 work on rest day. 60 sub 2 work on rest day. Both are same. This one sub 2 emergency situation. Sub 1 normal cases. So emergency is real emergency. Sub 2, sub 1 is normal day. Your employer can ask you to come for work. Maybe one of the production employee off on that day. The machine need to operate 24 hours. So they can ask you, that's not an emergency. Emergency means maybe accident. Okay? So they can ask you, hey, please, you work today. So that situation come under 60 sub 1. They can ask, okay? 60 sub 2, emergency situation is your off day. Of course, your employer will ask your help, right? They cannot go ask another person. What is emergency under the act? During COVID or emergency, right? Like any defense, security, or no electricity. That's an emergency to the entire nation. That's an emergency. Then the TMT worker, the rest day, they have to come to work. Those are the situations covered under 60 sub 2. So, you know the differences, huh? Any question? Yeah. Work hours 60 sub 68 sub 1. Okay. 9 to 5. How many hours? 9 to 5. 10 hours. 9 to 5. 9 hours. 9 to 5 is 9 hours. Sorry, 9 to 6. Yeah, you say 9 to 6, 8 to 5. Sorry. 9 hours. In the 9 hour, 1 hour is our lunchtime. Lunchtime is not considered working hours. Okay? Lunchtime. So maximum day limit, we can work 8 hours in a day. If you can work additional, no overtime unless below 4,000 or manual labor. Okay? Break requirement. If a staff work for 5 hours, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 one stretch, 5 hours, they must go for 30 minutes break. So compulsory. We cannot ask them to work one stretch without break for 8 hours. After 5 hours, you must take 30 minutes break. It's a requirement under the law. One day, 8 hours. Sometimes, for example, hotel staff or you go in shopping mall, just ask the cashier or whoever, the assistant, what's your working hour? You say 12 hours, standing 10 to 10. No one is working 12 hours. Only maximum in a day, even though overtime, 10 hours. Another 2 hours, 1 hour lunch, 30 minutes. They can spread 30 minutes, 30 minutes break, evening break or morning break. So 2 hours just gone. Balance remaining 10 hours. 8 hours is their normal working hours. 2 hours is the overtime. If any of them say, work for 12 hours plus only maximum 10 hours, no one is working for one stretch 12 hours. 10 to 10 between they grab 2 hours. It's a requirement under the law. Okay, week living. This is the new amendment. Last time 48 hours in a week. Now we reduce 3 hours, 45 hours. Requirement hours of work. Okay? Okay?
What if I pay you overtime? Can they do more than 12 hours or 10 hours? With appropriate overtime, is it possible?
Legally it's not right. They need less. Agreed upon is.
But how do you increase? Because it's like, as a boss, I ask you, and you're afraid to say, if you keep on saying no, then
Any emergency.
you see these are underlying.
Emergency that they consent.
On that one day, hey, can you work extra? I pay you over. Is it legal? Is it possible?
If they are willing to accept, then fine. Because it's just mutual agreement. Yeah. Otherwise, they say that it's forcing me to work. Shift work, actually, this is not applicable to us, more to hospital or hospital staff. Okay. For shift work staff, it's just knowledge. They can work more than 8 hours in a day. They can work. Also more than 45 hours in a week. They can do. But limitation is only 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Week 1, 50 hours. Week 2, 40 hours. Week 3, 45 hours. Average 45 hours. This is the calculation for the shift work staff. It's applicable to our hospital. Hospital HR regular is so more than 3 weeks, force them to work cannot. So make sure within 3 weeks they are under 45 hours. Okay, holidays. Under the Employment Act 1955, we are entitled for paid holidays, 11 gazetted public holidays. Okay, that 11 public holidays we are paid. Mandatory is 5 compulsory, National Day, ruler, Selangor State Ruler birthday, then Selangor will give public holiday for the Federal Territory KL. We will have a public holiday, Workers' Day, and Malaysia Day. It's a compulsory. Okay, we are fine, but people working in manufacturing, they go for work, right? Then must pay according to the public holiday rate. 3 times the normal working hours salary. Okay? For us, it's a compulsory. The remaining, if you minus 5 out of 11, what is the remaining days? 6 days. 6 days up to the employer. Okay? During Chinese New Year or Diwali, they ask you to work, you cannot fight with your employer. It's the employer choice. But we are blessed. We enjoy all our public holidays. Okay? Yeah. Employer choice, don't get frustrated when they didn't give leave for Taipusan or Hari Raya. Then you go emotional and tender. And then the next month, who's going to pay your bills? For what, right? Don't get emotional. So legally what they are doing is right. Okay? Another remaining 6 days. So after that only we realize. So you quickly can declare before they accept. Once they accept, habis. So Starbucks, KFC, until they get next job. Okay, annual leave. This is a guideline only. Okay? For example, I'm working more than 5 years. So like my entitlement 21, right? 21 days. So it's just a guideline. Cannot go below than this. Above can. Lecturers I think got more so company has policies. So Employment Act is a guideline. Don't reach that guideline. Okay? Sick leave. Okay, this is one of the another amendment. Last time, before the amendment, MC is 14 days, right? It will be deducted from your 60 days hospitalization leave. Last time, before the amendment. Some staff went to utilize full 14 days. Then 60 minus 40, remaining, the balance will be your hospitalized, the balance. Now, they separate. 14 days plus 60 days hospitalization. Say they don't touch, no more deduction. MC is MC, hospitalization is hospitalization. Okay? We can take more disease, no more touch. We can enjoy. HR cannot ask question if the MC is legal.
I want to share a story. Okay, so I can't remember the name of the case, but I just want to share for like knowledge as well. There's this recent case that was being shared and I read about one staff, quite a senior level, went on MC, right? Went on MC and then came back because they were working some sort of somehow, and then the line manager actually complained or did some, I mean, maybe pressure or something like that. So the staff, what happened was, yeah, got pressured from the line manager because of performance, whatever, and then it leads to termination, okay? And this matter was brought to industrial court. And guess what? The court, okay, so this was on MC, okay, he applied for MC, it was a extended one, fully utilized. right? And this, I think he felt unjustified. Why was he penalized for taking MC? And guess what? It's because the evidence was found that his colleagues or his superior found that in his social media, in the midst of him taking the MC, he was having a holiday or doing some sports or something like that. Okay? So why the court awarded in favor of the companies? Because the definition when you're having MC means you're sick, right? You're not supposed to do any work that is like vigorous or to show that you're having fun while you're taking MC. You're supposed to be resting. Yeah. So it's a two-way thing. So when you're having MC, make sure that you're resting. So you're not doing anything else besides, having your condition. Yeah. So those are kind of interesting case of the
Thanks, Ms. Dini. Yeah, now no more private life, right? Everything like to post on social media. So one side they say MC, another side when you look at their social media, they are enjoying their life. Right? Actually, it's happening. Yeah. So how many of your staff frequent MC? Okay? Can HR challenge MC? Okay, this person frequently take MC because genuinely they went to, even though they are not sick, genuinely went to clinic, but the doctor is very kind, always give MC. Always on MC. What you can do? But the MC is genuine. You can call that staff together with HR. You can ask the staff go for medical checkup. In the way, with pressure. Medical, comprehensive medical checkup. We have done that. Then they will alert. Okay. Medical report will give the truth. They always say not well. Actually, what not well? We want to know. Go do the medical checkup. Then already it's fine. After that, no MC. That's how we must take revenge. They ask us to take revenge. Come, get our consultation. Employee do like this, we can do another. Anyway, Alex, you are nodding your head. I don't know. Okay. So new future fathers already father of four. Okay. Now, paternity leave is a new amendment. Okay, it's a new amendment. Men entitled for 7 days, consecutive days, one stretch. It's not on and off. Okay? Limitation 5.51, meaning to say up to 5 kids only, but number of spouses, okay, legal spouse. Okay, your first wife, second wife, third wife. 2, 1, 1. 4 already. So one more. So depend which one comes it first. Then after that your quota finish. Okay? Number of spouses, So by legal wife, not illegal wife. So the eligibility criteria, this one is another criteria for imposed to men. Unfortunately, you must work in the same workplace at least 12 months. Every day entitled for the paternity leave. So make sure your wife conceive after you join work. Wait for 1 year to enjoy the 7 days. Okay. Then you must specify now when is the confinement date. Because due date But why he is influenced here? What he going to do here, taking 7 days off? Of course, that is right, but logically, no. Okay? Logically.
So legally, is the company not obligated? Because it's not that.
Looking at the logical part, no. Because the
So
way
the company can refuse.
refuse, but depends on the scenario.
I mean, like in this scenario.
Yeah, yes, logically.
So if he says that I'm going back to Indonesia for the test,
Yes.
that's it. We might
Yes,
agree.
yeah. If he going back to Indonesia, yes, he can. Okay. Because we have lecturers from overseas, right? Just in case you come across this type of situation, then you all know how to handle it. Okay. And also some staff from other countries.
He's going back to Japan.
No, can. Going back can. Okay.
But legally, he is still entitled, right?
Entitled, but as I say,
Logically,
yes, logically you can refuse. Industrial court or labor court, we look at logical and humanity, not strictly.
So we have to base on case law then, right? We have to refer to the case law and this within
Not
I mean, it's to say, okay, logically,
yeah, no,
right, this is not going back.
Yes, yes.
But from that particular section just now,
yes, legally,
he has the right,
yes,
you know, so in terms of deciding, let's say if he files a complaint because the employer does not allow,
he can, if he feel not fair, he can file a case.
but we're saying that it does escalate to either the labor office or industrial court, right? I mean, it has to be argued out loud.
Yes, depends. Okay. Lying. Kami, okay, Dr. Raj is asking, he said he wanted to go back to Indonesia, but he didn't go. So it's a lying. Misconduct. Lying is misconduct. We can give warning or like not terminate. That's not terminate, really serious offense. Okay, we can use some disciplinary action against him. Okay, flexible working arrangement is a new amended act. Okay, you can ask for flexible hour working. We are getting to no, only two people are smiling face, excited about this. Okay, the rest are no finish because anyway not going to get right. Okay. So you can vary your hours of work or days of work, place of work. Okay? You must apply. It's not automatically entitled. You must apply. Then the employer will consider your request. For example, you have a newborn baby. If newborn baby, they will cry throughout night. Then sleepless night, maybe you ask them, I'll join after 12. So the employer, if they kind enough, they say okay, then they must, okay, they will give a appropriate letter to their agreement. If they decided no, also they must write and inform the employee what is the ground for refusal. Don't ignore your staff request. If your staff request, you cannot issue the letter. You must inform HR of your decision together. Then HR officially will communicate. during COVID time, your employer supply all the necessary equipment for you to work, right? You are protected. But in the name of working from home during your working hour, do this, happen this, so it's not protected. This is not work related. You are cooking for your family. It's not work related. Yeah, protected. Let them explode while you working. Everybody are doing office work, right? Where you say laptop? Example. Mana you say bagi laptop, but my laptop is say one. Laptop with the water. Okay. No, why he got it on? There is a story. You know, UC meeting. UC council meeting is prestigious meeting, right? All this while I use my own laptop. So after many years, I changed 2-3 laptops because our job is heavy, right? So 2019 during UC, for each presentation my laptop off. Each presentation we feel so angry and embarrassed and we quickly bought one laptop for our office. So that's the main reason I have one laptop. Each of every presentation. Oh my God. Okay. So far so good. Any stretch break? Okay, never mind. Come, let's stand. Let's stand and have a simple stretch and sit back. Just stretch. You want to go toilet? We are about to finish. 1955. Section 69 is Director General of Labour Department can investigate, see, employee under Section 69 sub 1 can report about the employer. Employee can report about the employer if you are not happy about wages, wages or any other cash payment, for example, your maternity allowance didn't pay, overtime didn't pay. This one for employer. Employer can complain about employee for payment in lieu. The AWOL, you all still remember the AWOL? So, Labour Department not only for the employee, employer also can lodge a complaint. See, when an employee leaves without notice, then they owe wages in lieu. So, Section 169 sub 1 employee, sub 2 employer. We have cases. School Adeline usually will go. Adeline will file cases under this if any of the teachers didn't pay. Okay, she's active doing this. Alright. Section 69 sub 3. Section 69 sub 3. Power to review. Who can review your decision of disciplinary decision? The Director General can review your decision. If your decision is not fair, they can review your decision, and then the director can set aside employer decision. Okay? Director can set aside employer decision. When set aside, meaning to say the employee can join back to the work. When the employee join back to the work, because they take 60 days, right, for the investigation, then whatever salary in lieu employer must pay back, and whatever other punishment like salary reduction, everything must pay back. Section 64, 69 sub 4, after the Director General set aside the decision, the employer failed to comply, then they can fine the company. How much the fine? 50,000. If you still hasn't paid comply, every day 1,000, 1,000 accumulate. Okay, that's a power of Director General of Labour Department. So, before we terminate any employee, we must make sure we have all the supporting documents. So when they come for investigation, we can give them. So that's a important role of HODs to gather evidence, to get everything must be documented. So in a way you are easy HR's job. Discrimination. This is a new section. Discrimination. Okay. Favorite employee, not a favorite employee. Okay, that's a health, disability, pregnancy, marital status, workload, salary. So those are the category of discrimination. If you feel you are discriminated by your employer, you can lodge a complaint under Section 160. 60? Yes, sub 1. Okay? Then if the Director General find yes, true, discrimination 50,000. Okay? Who need to pay the 50,000? HOD? HR? HOD or HR? Who's the company? Very good. Company. Okay? Anything? Go up the company, not the individual. Okay? Next is very interesting topic. Sexual harassment. Okay? Under Section 81A, 81B. See, sexual harassment can happen between employee against another employee, employee against employer, employer against employee, and male, female, 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 male, male also can happen. We have cases also. Okay? Now, Section 81B. How the inquiry. Employer must investigate the complaint unless you feel is not. You must have a valid reason not to investigate. If you really refuse, then you must have a valid reason. Okay? Maybe they are girlfriend and boyfriend, real right? Suddenly they want to complain each other. Right? It's a personal matter, right? Personal matter. So you must have a valid reason. Within 30 days, you must respond. If you refuse, then they can complain to Director General of Labor Office to investigate. Because employee refused to investigate, so they can go to Labor Office. See, employer, how to handle? You receive complaint on sexual harassment, so you must investigate. If you refuse investigate because you have a valid reason, maybe the husband and wife or employer must inform why you refuse, why you are not willing to investigate. Then they can refer the matter to Labor Office. Then the Labor Office Director General, they can direct employer, please investigate. Or if they feel, they also agree with you, with your reason why you not investigate, then they can say we also not willing to investigate your case. Okay?
Can you explain across the
inquiry by employer. Okay, now either you can refuse or you can investigate. Now you investigate. Already your investigation completed. Then if you find the employee is guilty, then you can dismiss or you can downgrade or you can impose any other punishment. Okay? During the investigation, you can suspend the employee. If the sexual harasser is not an employee, because UCSI premises not only employees are around, they are outsider, contractor, income, right? They might be the sexual harasser. Then you can recommend the person lodge a police report, because we cannot take action against the third party, because our contract is between employee and employer. Contractor is a third party. We cannot take any action. Then you can ask your employee to lodge a complaint to the police. Then police will take necessary action. You don't go do the heroism by issue letter to the contractor will throw away and walk out. Okay? Because who you are, you cannot do anything, right? Okay, huh? Now, 81 sub D. Sometimes employee can directly lodge a report to Director General instead of employer. So what the director this under this section is allowable. What they can do, they will assess the complaint, then they will ask the employer to investigate. Because end of the day, employer must investigate, because it's happened in our premises. CCTV is under our control. So we can access to all the facilities. They will direct us to do investigation. The earlier one, when you refuse, then they will go. Here, they bypass you, straight go to Director General. Okay, the differences. So, Director General also can refuse the inquiry if they investigated and no sexual harassment was proven, or the complaint is not a genuine complaint. Okay? Then they must inform the complainant. Inform the complainant why they refuse. If they refuse, then they don't direct you to do the investigation. Maybe after you do investigation, you report back to them, right? Within a certain period, then they write to the complainant. They are not going to proceed with their complaint. They must write and inform within 30 days after receiving complaint. So within 30 days, employer quickly must do our work, report back to the Director General so that they can respond to the complainant. Okay? Under section 81E, we are still under sexual harassment. Decision of the Director General. The complainant right to terminate the contract. Sexual harassment come under constructive dismissal. Sexual harassment is covered under constructive dismissal. But after the investigation, there is a sexual harassment, then the employee can terminate the contract. So when they terminate, then all this entitlement, wages, if for 4 weeks notice, then company need to reimburse the 4 weeks
wages, depends on the notice period and all the termination benefits because it's not their fault and whatever provided under the Contract Act. Okay, because sexual harassment we are seen as a very serious breach. Serious breach. Okay. Now it's very commonly on the okay.
This is regarding the complainant, right? It's not the harasser.
No, complainant. Complainant is like
So it's the victim.
so he make the written themselves as a right. Yeah, under this section, when they terminate, then company need to give them their entitlement, wages,
So if let's say
termination benefits.
if let's say our investigation show that the harasser is guilty, can the victim say, I also want to terminate the contract? So let's say we fire the or punishment for the harasser, right? Then can the victim say, oh, if this person is still working, I want to terminate? Can the victim do that under this?
That's why sexual harassment termination is the only solution. All sexual harassment, all this one very termination, dismissal, and they don't dare to complain to industrial relation because
So if we fire the harasser who is found guilty, can the victim still say, I want to stop working in this company based on this? Because you say here they are
they
I have
under this they can do if they feel not secure.
but I already fired them, remove the harasser, so they can still claim that this environment is not
The act is allowable if they feel because the harasser friends are still around, they can monitor what the person is. They really feel threat or challenge, they can do that.
I think it's to provide a way out for the victim in a sense. Yeah.
They also must justify why they are terminating also.
Because the intention behind the drafting of this clause is for the victim.
Yeah.
Maybe if the harasser is the boss herself or himself, the owner of the company. So,
Owner not going to is the only choice. It's the owner. Yeah, proven, then the company need to, because all this will be assisted by Director General.
The keyword is proven, which is with evidence.
no, you don't send the serve to serve the notice.
If no
No, not serving notice.
which is saying if there's no evidence,
No evidence.
no evidence means there's no
Record, silently record. If anything is recorded on the dialogue, admissible under the industrial code. Illegal recording also admissible. But civil court, the court structure is not allowed. Okay, now section 81F offense, employer commit offense if fail to inquire complaint of sexual harassment unless you have valid reason to refuse. Okay? Then fail to inform that refusal and the reason why you are not willing to investigate, or fail to inquire complaint sexual harassment when directed by the Director General. See, when you are not willing to investigate with valid reason, then they will go to Director General. Then Director General will instruct you to do investigation. If you still not do, penalty.
Just like a scenario, if like the
the new act. New amendment must display. I'm sure that everywhere is display, right? Notice. Okay, it's compulsory to display. Come, let me look at that. And then yes. Okay.
If you guys don't have, please request from us, like, please, the departments, please, like, put like a A3 size somewhere in your notice board.
Compulsory.
Yes.
The notice is compulsory. Okay. I want to share the actual case happening here, but I'm not going to say anyone's name. It's an interesting case. Sexual harassment. Okay. Few years ago, we received a complaint. Both of them work in the same department. HOD and the staff. They like to go out for male and female. They like because male, female and female. Okay, Stephen male and female. HOD is male and then the staff is female. Both are married. Every day lunchtime they like to go out together. They will exchange sexual words. Okay. So it's prolonged for a year or two. One day, the HOD, the male, went to a house. He knows she was alone in the house. Alone in the house. She opened the door. If she felt threatened, she shouldn't open, right? It's 11 p.m. She allowed. So, both of them at home alone. Her husband and kids went out. Then they decided to go for clubbing. She accompanied him in the same car, went to clubbing. All this happened at night. And then, as usual, the clubbing, they drank, and then during dancing time, he attempted to kiss her and hug her. She refused. Somehow or other, the husband knew about it. Because of the husband's pressure, she decided to make that guy victim. Complain to HR. It's a few years ago. Then we investigated. Both are doing every day, everything with consent. Because of the husband pressure now, she just turned, her only intention is to terminate that person. Terminate. That's the only thing, because she's under pressure. The husband, the one, both of them was in the same company, same department. How difficult. How to handle it? They went together. She followed him. She allowed him to enter. Every day they go for lunch. Sexual jokes are exchanges. So, how? We have to mediate. Mediation and also the woman. We don't understand why she's so angry. So angry. We asked the guy to ask apology. He did. He obliged. He realized his mistake. She followed. But we can see that she intoxicated. And she followed. She followed. In the room, he tried to take some advantage of her. Then she pushed and she managed to escape from the room. But before that, she managed to record some conversation. With that evidence, she lodged a complaint to student department. Staff being handled, student SAA with their help, they handled. During investigation, what happened? When we investigated, the staff showed she is willing to come on that day. But until to that point, we thought she repeatedly saying to us, she just went there and suddenly he offered the ring. But he showed the message. She said, I'll see you around 10 p.m. in the Sky Lounge. So, everything is, it's not every time. Whenever we receive complaint, what we get, not immediately movement are big deal. We need to, not immediately nights are bad. From the experience. There are many cases, always unusual. It's not, definitely stranger not going to behave like that to you, right? Who is the sex offenders? Most of the 90% are person who do that. Strangers don't do that. 90%. Okay. That is. Yeah, we took the action. Yes. Not employment, yeah, because it's definitely we reprimand the person and also we warn the girl. She just meant excited staying outside. Sometimes these kids, they don't know what they're doing. And this man taking advantage. Okay. Now we have sexual tribunal, sexual harassment tribunal. Okay. See, many cases, and we handle it, we also do. Okay, now.
David, so you have handled many cases. I'm sure you have learned.
Yeah.
Share.
Learn and learning.
What have you learned from the many cases?
Okay. We do case study. After lunch break, we will do case study. Then HR will share their real life experiences and also the real cases.
So that we are aware.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, now labor No. We punish the staff for certain years. No progress, no bonuses, no, career advancement. We punish. Okay. Now, labor department also acting as a labor court, not real court structure. Under section 69, they can still decide for you, give judgment. They decide disputes, wages, payment in cash or grievances or discrimination. Investigate okay, this is the penalty, or you must pay this person 2 months' wages. So, if the employer not happy or employee not happy with the judgment, then you can have a right to appeal. Where you can appeal? First, you must appeal to High Court with the judgment. You are not happy with the judgment, right? Appeal to High Court within 14 days. Within 14 days of the judgment from the labor court. Still you are not happy, the last resort is for the employment matters court of appeal. Federal